A warm welcome to everyone. My thesis, Reverence for Architecture, Reinterpreting the Spaces of Grief, is a crematorium based design. And why the topic? Well, when I was a kid, I read a news article about a person being cremated on the roadside due to the lack of site and facility. That stuck in my mind. Why is death treated with so much disrespect while a birth is celebrated? Why are crematoriums in India a taboo space? I decided to create a respectful final resting place, and for that, I started to look into the concept of death, ritual, and its spatial requirements. My aim is to design a ritualistic and respectful space of cremation which establishes a socio-cultural expression and helps the user in experiencing the activity of cremating the death with comfort. I looked into various case studies to know how the spaces should be and how the spaces shouldn't be. The idea of death is linked with moksha and karma. Everyone seeks moksha, and for Hindus, Varanasi is moksha. Varanasi, the holy city, is not just a city of colors, sacredness, rituals, culture, sweet, colorful silk, and boat rides, but also a city of waste, floating corpses, stenching water, and polluted Ganga. Agreed to attain moksha due to the improper cremation and disposal measures, the holy river is now a stinking drain. The intent of my project is to sculpt a space which give utmost respect to everyone, especially the dead. A center offering spiritual enlightenment to those who seek moksha after life and also during life, with spaces for cremation and meditation. Under the 2031 Master Plan of Varanasi, Suzabad, opposite to the Varanasi Ghats, has an area on the river bank for spiritual and religious developments, looking at the Ghats of the holy city. And that is where my crematorium will be. The proposed site is of 21 acres, accessed by a 7-meter wide road and boats from Varanasi, and has no notable vegetation. It is now used as a grazing land and a cremation space by the locals. The site has its strength of offering splendid views of the Ghats river and the surroundings. It could take the Lord of the Ghats, but flooding is a major issue. I observed, studied, and analyzed the site and came up with various design considerations. Spatial requirements and connections were formulated with the help of my case studies. Then I found an issue with the crematoriums in India. Their design doesn't consider the user. They just serve the purpose of cremation. The emotions of the mourners is not taken into account while designing. All my case studies had all their activities in a loop with a same entry and exit, where the people who comes out after cremating their loved one meets with another wailing group who goes into the crematorium. That could suddenly increase the grief of the former group. Also, there was no transition spaces and no time was given for the mourners to prepare themselves to bid farewell. What can be done? The solution is to break the loop, separate the entry and exit, and provide enough time and transition areas. How can this be done with ease? The answer was to create a story. The spaces should take the user into a journey from the physical world, just like a good story takes a listener into the world of fantasy. That is my concept, the story of last journey together. From a welcoming landscape, the people are made to walk through a narrow path to reach the crematorium. A small space marks the entrance and start of the journey. The double-height spaces with controlled lighting prepares the person to enter the process. A wide stepped pond within an enclosure provides a sacred atmosphere. A narrow path to the pyre marks the end of the journey, convincing the mourner that it's the best place for the final sleep. Considering the site conditions, context, and the concept, various zoning options were tried out. The design. The site has four access points: a main entry and exit for the visitors, a secondary entry and exit for the service vehicles, and a boat jetty. The design consists of three main blocks: administration and crematorium linked by a tunnel, and a meditation block. The Ghats serve the purpose of post cremation rituals and meditation. The section shows the most important spaces that sculpts the story and helps the mourners to control their emotions. As one enters the admin block, the space breaks open to a wide courtyard. The east side serves the office purposes and the north side hosts the dining and restaurant areas. The west side has spaces related to the final journey and post-cremation rituals along with a library. The processional path takes the mourner to a large waiting area from where the first transition space or the tunnel starts. There are two movement patterns. The first one, where the mourner enters the admin block, takes the processional path to the waiting area from where the tunnel leads them to the crematorium. The second one is for those who come in for the post-cremation rituals. The family need to collect the urn, which is kept in a small enclosed space with a skylight, and the ashes are then taken to the Ghats. The transition is made possible with the help of a tunnel, which is naturally lit. The tunnel takes the user to another world, the crematorium. The tunnel ascends to unleash the crematorium. Showers and toilets are provided at both sides of the pathway. The tree-lined pathway with its central focus, the cannonball tree, represents Yama, the god of death. Inside, Lord Shiva is rested in a pool which symbolizes Ganga. The deceased enters the plot through a secondary entry and is taken to the body wash and preparation area. Gathering halls are provided nearby. The mourner and the deceased reunites at the feet of the Lord and enters into the second stage of transition. The passage, with low ceiling height and controlled lighting, opens up to a colorful landscaped area. There are two types of cremation. One is wooden and the other is electric. The electric furnaces are placed to the southwest side and the pyres to the north side. Four chimneys placed within the courtyard expels the smoke. Staff area and areas for the storage of wood are provided. A cattle shed and another set of toilets are also provided. The meditation center is a dome structure with stepped seating. Nandi is its central focus, placed at the center of a water body. The niches in the wall provide individual spaces for meditation. The Ghats is an important element of Varanasi. A number of activities are hosted here: bathing tanks, platforms for rituals, pavilions for bhajans and cultural activities, and spaces for meditation and yoga are provided. The water from Ganga is filtered at the service room within the pavilion to be used in the bathing tanks. The water from the tanks are then treated before it's discharged back into the river. Landscape is an important part of this design. Flowering trees, mostly evergreen type, are used to provide shades. Woody evergreen trees are used to provide visual barrier between the parking areas and the rest of the site. Grazing lands are also provided within the site. Specific trees are used in the design of the crematorium. Pathways are lined with coral jasmine and bale tree. Coral jasmine is for symbolizing the sorrow. Bale tree is considered as an offering to Lord Shiva to remove the sins. The cannonball tree at the entrance symbolizes Nagas and the Yama. Inside, the pond has lotus where the deity or Shiva is seated. The grief garden has Ashoka tree which is believed to remove the sorrows. In front of the pyres, there's neem and eucalyptus to purify the air. Let's see the journey.
She had to try every before she tried. I'm a team player, and sometimes you have
The special element used in the design is light. Beyond exposing things to view and feel, light can control people's behavior and emotions. The role of natural light in enhancing spatial quality is experimented throughout the design. The waiting area, the processional path, the tunnel, the passage, the urn collection room, and the meditation area. Along with the natural light, artificial lighting is also considered important in design. I hope my design has sculpted a serene atmosphere for the final sleep. Thank you.